Namaste and good evening. We'll start our class with the prayers. Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Now we'll chant Mahamrityunjaya mantra 3 times to pray for those who are in suffering. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukam Iva Bandhana Mrityormukshya Mamrutat. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukam Iva Bandhana Mrityormukshya Mamrutat. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukam Iva Bandhanan Mrityormukshya Mamrutat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Welcome everyone. Today we'll have the class 12. So in the last class, we started Ayodhya Kanda, the second chapter, and it covered preparations for Rama's coronation. And then we saw how Kaikeyi asks for 2 boons to the king, Dasharatha. She was tutored by Manthara, who in turn, goddess Saraswati had made her intellect a little perverted. So Lord Rama goes to take permission. He immediately agrees, of course, with a lot of joy. Instead of being coronated, having the kingdom of Ayodhya, he says that my father has given me the kingdom of forest, which is far more desirable. So he goes to take permission from his mother. His mother is completely devastated hearing this news. Yet she realizes that Rama will stick to the truth and dharma and cannot be stopped. When Sita heard this, that Rama is going to go to forest, she got agitated and she came to Rama's presence, who was sitting near his mother Kaushalya. So Sita, she is in a very agitated state. She bows down to her mother-in-law Kaushalya, and then just bowing her head, she is thinking that who must have done so many good deeds that will get the chance to go with Rama? Is it, will he allow me to go with him? If he does not, then only the life force will go, the body will remain here. So this is a poetic way of putting it. Ki tanu prana, ki keval prana. Something will go with him, either the body with the life, prana, or just the prana itself, the body will remain here lifeless. That means Sita understood that she will not be able to live if Rama does not allow her to come with her. So when Kaushalya sees Sita in this manner, she understood what Sita wants. So she tells Rama, "Oh Rama, here is your wife, extremely beautiful, extremely chaste. She wants to go with you. But she has been brought up in such a manner that she knows no difficulties of life. Even she does not put her foot on the bare ground. She has been having all the comforts of life, both in her father's palace as well as here. So in this condition, how would she be able to tolerate all the difficulties of the life in the forest? That is my concern. And also, I love her like my own life. So if she also goes with you, I will have no support. So you decide what is the right thing to do and tell her accordingly." So here Rama is कही प्रिय बचन विवेक में कीन मातु परितोष लगे प्रबोधन जान की ही प्रगट विपिन गुण दोष. He comforted her by addressing tender and wise words. And then she started explaining to Sita that why is it that not so good idea for her to go with Rama to forest. So he draws a very bleak picture of the difficulties in the forest. He says that there are demons who can eat human beings, who can kidnap them. There is no surety of the food. For the sleep, you have to sleep on the bare ground. There are tigers, other ferocious animals. And he says, look, even my desire is that you should stay here back. It will also be good for my mother, my father. They will get some support from you. So do not be adamant about your desire to come with me. So in this manner, Rama tries to explain to Sita. And then she basically responds that there is no doubt that whatever you have said, it is in view of the something which is the good for me. But when I reflect upon it, I realize that there is no sorrow which can compare to the separation from my husband. All my relationships are dear to me only because of you. Without you, I will not find any happiness anywhere. It is like if you go away from my life, it is like the body without the life force or the river without the water. And saying in this manner, Sita starts crying. When Rama looks at her, he realizes that if he does not allow her to come with him, Sita will be no more. She will not survive. So looking at this condition, he says, okay, not to worry, just come with me. Today is not the day to be sad about. So you just come with me. And Sita was very happy. She asks forgiveness to Kaushalya that, look, this is the time when I could have served you. I would have fulfilled my desire to serve you. But God willed something else. Have forest for me. And please understand that it is not my fault that I am going. I just have no other way, no other go. Kaushalya understands, she blesses both of them. Then when Lakshmana heard about Rama going to forest, he became very agitated and trembling all over. He just comes to Rama and he doesn't know what to say, how to say. He just falls down at his feet and he is excited with emotion. Rama understood Lakshmana's condition. Lakshmana certainly did not want to be separated from Rama. So Rama tells Lakshmana, look, right now Bharata and Shatrughna are not there in the kingdom. I am going to forest, following my father's orders. If you also come with me, the whole city will become like an orphan. There will be nobody to support. Plus, in addition, you can take care of my mother, my father, your mother also. And Rama had extreme love for Bharata. He said, when Bharata comes, he will also not be very happy looking at the situation here. You can give him some support. That is your dharma, Rama says. To serve Guru, to serve parents. When Lakshmana heard that, he did not know what to say. Utarunavat prem bas gahe charan akulai नाथ दासु में स्वामी तुम तजहु तकाह बसाई गुरु पितु मातु न जानो काहू कहूँ सुभाव नाथ पतियाहु मोरे सबई एक तुम स्वामी दीन बंधुर अंतर जामी धर्म नीति उपदेशिय ताही कीरत भूत सुगत प्रिय जाही मन क्रम बचन चरण रत होई कृपा सिंधु पर हरिय किसोई. He says that, look, you are the master, I am your slave. If you give me up, where will I go? What is my condition? What will be my condition? What help is there for me? I tell you the truth, that I do not know who is my guru, who is my parents. You alone are my Lord. You alone are everything for me. Whatever you have said, it may be as per dharma, it may be as per the right thing to do. But those things are good for those. You should teach them those things who are fond of glory, fortune, and noble destiny. But one who is devoted to you in thought, word, and deed, should he be abandoned like this? When Rama heard these words from Lakshmana, he understood that Lakshmana will not stay back. So he says, okay, come. Don't worry, you come with me. Just go to your mother and see her off. Take her blessings. So for Lakshmana, truly nobody else mattered. He is going to mother only because Rama said so. So he goes to his mother. His mother is Sumitra. If you remember the family tree, Sumitra had two sons, Lakshmana and Shatrughna. And Sumitra is the wise lady. She does not lose her cool, she does not lose her wits, irrespective of the situation. So Lakshmana goes to Sumitra, and then when she sees that his face is not as cheerful, in the sense like today is Rama's coronation, Lakshmana was in a different mood altogether, and now his face is a little different. So she asks what happened, and then Lakshmana tells the whole story, that how Kaikeyi asked two boons. created all this disaster for the city of Ayodhya. And Rama is going to forest this just now for 14 years. So Sumitra was very sad hearing this turn of events. When she understood that those are the times people have to go through this pain, she collected herself and then she spoke in a naturally good-hearted manner to Lakshmana. Look at her teachings to Lakshmana. She is the mother. She says, "O Lakshmana, consider the Sita as your mother and your Rama as your father. Wherever Rama is, that's where Ayodhya is for you. If Ram and Sita are going to forest, there is nothing for you to in Ayodhya. You should definitely go with them and you should serve them wholeheartedly. This is the most wonderful opportunity for you. Think of that it is because of your good deeds Rama is going to forest, allowing you to give this unobstructed service. You can have unobstructed approach to him." And then she says, "पूजनीय प्रिय परम जहाते सब मानिए राम के नाते." That whosoever is dear to you, whosoever is somebody whom you have a tremendous respect, consider everything for the sake of Rama. Only because they are associated with Rama, they are dear to you. Only because they are associated with Rama, they are worthy of worship. Otherwise, nothing. So, Lakshmana was very happy to hear this blessings and the permission from the mother. He came happily he came back. And then he comes by the side of Rama, ready to leave. So now Rama is asked by Kaikeyi that he should go to forest, and because Sita and Lakshmana will not remain without him in Ayodhya, so 3 people are now going to forest. So all these 3, they go to Dashratha now. So Rama wants to finally say goodbye to Dashratha before leaving. So they all 3 go, and Dashratha is almost fainted with grief. So when he hears that Rama has come, he is lying just on the floor. Somehow he gets up and he just holds Rama and he starts crying. And Rama tries to console him and say, "Look, for the sake of dharma, people have tolerated so much pain for the sake of truth. We should not deviate from the truth, no matter what the suffering is in the store for us. You have given your word, let it be so. As a son, it is my duty to uphold your word." So in that way, Rama tries to console Dashratha. Dashratha somehow is not able to get any consolation. He's just in pain, tremendous pain. And when he sees that Rama will not stop, he will go, and Lakshmana is certainly not going to stop. He again requests Sita that at least if you can stay back, that will be a great support for me and for others. And Sita doesn't tell him, but on his face, no, but she certainly doesn't like any such suggestion which will make her away from Rama. So eventually Sita also is decided that she will go. So all 3 leave, and Dashratha again faints. When these people are leaving, the whole city has gathered there. They are all crying. Tulsidas ji has drawn such a picture of pain and sorrow in this time when Rama is leaving Ayodhya. Not only human beings, even animals are crying because Rama is dear to all. When they have gone some distance, people are following them. People have decided that without Rama, there is nothing for us in Ayodhya. So whoever could follow, they are following Rama. Even though Rama tries to make reason with them, they won't listen. Rama sees their love and can't say anything. So there is a whole host of people just following Rama. Here, Dasharatha again comes into a little bit of consciousness. And when he hears that Rama has already left, he calls his minister, Sumantra, his minister, his charioteer, his advisor. He says, look, what is my condition? That Rama has gone to forest, he has already started, and I still have the life in the body. What kind of happiness I'm still looking for, I'm still hoping for, that I'm still keeping the life in the body. What sorrow could be greater than this? Can you do one favor to me? And Sumantra, of course, is his like servant. Dasharatha is the king. He said, just order me. So he said, do one thing. Take a chariot, go to Rama and Lakshmana and Sita, make them sit on the chariot, and just go to forest, go to Ganga, make them for 3-4 days. Let them have a look at the forest. Let them stay there for a couple of days. Let them take a dip in Ganga, and then you bring them back. And suppose Rama will not return because he is so particular about following dharma and following the truth. Lakshmana will also not return probably because he doesn't care for anybody but Ram. Maybe if you can ask, Sita could come back because Sita is not worthy of facing all the difficulties in the forest. So at least try to bring her back. At least I will have some support if she comes back. Maybe she will see the forest for 3-4 days. She might get afraid, and she will, if you convince her, maybe she will come back. So in that, so the Sumantra immediately takes the chariot with the fastest horses, and he goes there. Ram, Lakshmana and Sita, they have hardly reached the city limits. Sumantra reaches there and tells the message of Dasharatha. So following the order of Dasharatha to sit in the chariot, Rama, Lakshmana and Sita, they sit in the chariot. And still the people are coming all behind him. And now they are like all around the chariot in a manner. So chariot can't go really fast. And people will not listen. They will not turn back. So evening fell, night fell. They stayed near the river called Tamasa, which is near that kingdom. And at that time, Rama again tells those people, look, this is not your dharma to follow here. You have your family, you have your duties. You have your duties towards the family, towards the king, towards everybody else. You should go back. And they said, Rama, we do not know anything but you. Without you, there is no joy for us in Ayodhya. So we'll follow you wherever you go. So when Rama stayed for the night on the riverbank, people also, they just stayed there and slept there. Then when it was about midnight, Rama saw that all the people are fast asleep. He tells Sumantra that do one thing. Please take the chariot from here quickly. People are slept. And do it in such a manner that they will not be able to trace our chariot. So you drive in such a manner that they will not be able to trace us. That's what Sumantra does in the middle of night. People are sleeping, and Sumantra takes Rama, Lakshmana, and Sita on the chariot. And he drives in such a manner that it is untraceable. When people wake up in the early morning, they see that Rama, Sita, and Lakshmana, they have gone from their midst. They try to locate following the signs of the chariot, of the wheels of the chariot in the sand, and they are not able to figure it out. So they finally give it up, the search, and they, with very heavy-heartedness, they return to Ayodhya. And there they decide that they will live without, in a very life of meditation, prayer, penance, not enjoying the things till Rama comes back. So with a lot of fasts, a lot of vows, they start living their life. Here, Rama and Sita and Lakshmana, along with Sumantra, they reach a place called Shringverpur, near Ganga, near the river Ganga. Ganga is considered the holiest of the rivers in India. So they reached near Ganga. There, one of the tribal chiefs, his name was Guha. So Guha, this was the name. He was the chief of the tribal chief there in that area, and naturally under the kingdom of Dashratha, kingdom of Ayodhya. So for him, Rama was the king, and of course he had great love for Rama. So when he heard that Rama has come, and he had heard the news had traveled that Kaikeyi has asked Rama to be exiled, and Rama has left for forest. So when he heard that, he came running, and he says, look, whatever little I have, this tribal chief, I have a little village here. Why don't you make this as your abode? You stay here, we all will serve you, we all will be happy. And then whenever your 14 years are done, you can leave back to your Ayodhya. So Rama says, no, that is not my father's wish. That is not what his Kaikeyi asked for. I cannot go to any city or village. I have to stay in the forested area only. When Guha heard that, he felt a little sad, but then he decided to serve Rama to whatever extent Rama was available to him. So he showed him a tree under which Rama can take rest. Rama liked the tree, and then he prepared some sort of you can say, bed made of leaves and flowers for Rama and Sita to sleep upon under the tree. And he also commanded all his people that make sure that anything which is needed, it is supplied here immediately. And also he put them on all the periphery of the forest for security in case of any wild animals, etc. come there. When people saw Rama and Lakshmana, other village people, राम लखन सिय रूप निहारी, कहीं सप्रेम ग्राम नर नारी, ते पितु मातु कहु सखी कैसे, जिन पठाए बन बालक ऐसे. Beholding their beauty, people are discussing that what kind of parents are who have sent such children to the forest. And then some other people are telling the story, and they're saying, look, it is our good fortune that those They have come to forest because we could see them. Otherwise, where would we get this opportunity to see them up this close, to interact with them? So consider it as our good fortune for which he has come here. So in this manner, people are talking. Then in the night, Rama and Sita, they sleep on that temporary bed which Goha had prepared for them under the tree. Lakshmana is pressing the feet of Rama, and when he perceives that Rama is slept, he gets up from there and sits at a distance in Virasana, like a Vajrasana kind of posture, in which this normally you can avoid the sleep. So it is said that Lakshmana did not sleep for the whole 14 years in order to serve Rama. There is a side story, not in Manas, that he prayed to Divine Mother, that, "Oh, Divine Mother, I do not want you in the form of sleep." There is this verse in Chandi which says Divine Mother in the form of sleep. So he prays to Mother that, "I do not want you in the form of sleep because I want to serve Rama in the forest." So Divine Mother says, "Okay, that is fine. You assign somebody else who would be taking your place in order to sleep, basically to sleep in your place." So Lakshmana thinks of his wife and she agrees. So Lakshmana's wife is completely devoted to Lakshmana, and Lakshmana, on the other hand, is completely devoted to Rama. So Lakshmana's wife, there is not much mention in Manas. In some other Ramayanas, there is some mention of Lakshmana's wife, Urmila. She is an amazing character, and she agreed wholeheartedly, happily, that let Lakshmana serve Rama, and I will share the sleep which should go to Lakshmana. I'll sleep in his place. So that's how Lakshmana did not sleep for 14 years, because he had tremendous desire to serve Rama at any moment, all the time. So Lakshmana is sitting there, and Guha is also sitting there. And when Guha sees Rama and Sita, they are lying under the open sky, under a tree, on the ground. He gets tears in his eyes. He says, "Look, these are the people who have such kind of prosperity in the kingdom of Ayodhya that even gods envy them. And now look at their condition, that they are sleeping like this under a tree, in the open sky, in the forest, where any kind of wild animals can come." And he starts crying and he starts abusing Kaikeyi, that it's all because of her that we have to see all these days. When Guha becomes emotional like this, Lakshmana tries to give him some spiritual teachings. And this is one of the very beautiful episodes in Ramayana. So he says here, "काहु न को सुख दुख कर दाता, निज कृत कर्म भोग सब भ्राता, अस विचार नहीं कीजिए रोसु, काहु ही बादि न देइए दोसु, मोहन सा सब शोभनिहारा, देखिए सपन अनेक प्रकारा, एहि जग जामिनि जागहि जोगी, परमारथी प्रपंच वियोगी, जानिय तबहि जीव जग जागा, जब जब विषय विलास विरागा, होई विवेक मोह भ्रम भागा, तब रघुनाथ चरण अनुरागा, सखा परम परमारथ एहु, मन क्रम वचन राम पद नेहु." He says that no one is the source of your happiness and sorrow. It's all based upon one's karma bearing the fruit. Therefore, do not be angry with anybody. This world, whatever you see, it is like people are sleeping the sleep of delusion and seeing the dream. When they wake up in the knowledge, the world disappears. Consider that only one who is awake, who has complete detachment from all the sense objects. And when such kind of discrimination dawns, then one discovers the love for the feet of Lord Rama. And then he says, oh my friend, the highest truth is that, or highest practice is that one should have love for Lord Rama in all thoughts, words, and deeds. That is the highest achievement. So in this manner, Lakshmana explains some spiritual truths to Guha, and Guha feels a little bit better. And like that, they are talking, the whole night passes. Lord Rama wakes up in the morning. Then one of the condition of Kaikeyi, when she asks for exile for Rama, that Rama should give up even the royal clothes and he should go in the clothes of a mendicant, like just bare clothes. So Rama had already donned that dress. But now in the forest, what he did, he also made jata, the hair on his head, by taking the milk of the banyan tree, because that is sticky. So his hair will stick in a sort of bundle. That's how the mendicants roam around. So in that way also he did that hair. Lakshmana naturally followed the thing. Sita had the royal attire, so she had not given it up, even though she wasn't particular about keeping the royal attire, but that was the request from Dashratha and Vasishtha, his guru. So she agreed to that. So now when they go to river Ganga, they bow down to Ganga. And at that time, Sumantra, they asked Sumantra to leave. But they said, now we have come to Ganga, you can leave back, go back to Ayodhya, and we need to move forward. Sumantra felt extremely sad. He started crying. He said, look, Dashratha wanted you to come back. And if not you two, at least for Sita. Otherwise, he said he will not survive. And Rama again tries to reason with Sita, and Sita refuses. She said that for me, there is no difficulty when I'm with you. There is no happiness when I'm without you. And therefore, all three of them, Sumantra could not bring back. And when he is being sent forcibly by Rama that please go, even the horses have stopped turning back. They are looking at Rama and the tears are flowing from their eyes. When Guha sees this condition of the horses, he started crying and thinking that how much pain and sorrow the people of Ayodhya and their own family members must be having. Then after Rama lovingly and forcibly sends Sumantra back, he wanted to cross the river Ganga. So he asked for a boatman. A boatman came, but he did not bring his boat. He said, I don't want to bring my boat to cross you the river, to make you cross the river. And Rama was surprised. Why? And he said, you know, I have heard about you that there is some miracle in the dust of your feet, which makes the stone turn into a human being. So there is a story when Rama was going with Vishwamitra earlier, if you remember, part of the story earlier. they had passed through one of the hermitages. In that hermitage, Rama had seen a female figure, stone, made of stone. But it was very live looking, but it was stone. Rama was surprised to look at that figure. And he asked Vishwamitra, what is this? And she says that Vishwamitra tells him that, look, this is the wife of a rishi. For some reason, rishi cursed her to become a stone, and she has become a stone. The only way for her to be liberated, that Rama, you touch this stone with your foot. By the dust of your feet, she will be free from this curse. Rama hesitatingly does that because it is not considered a good thing for a man to touch a woman with a foot. So, but he does that. He follows the order of his guru, and Ahilya, that lady, comes back to life, and she prays and bows down to Rama. And then again, she starts following her husband. So, referring to that story, he says that there is some magic in the dust of your feet. And my boat is only made of wood. It's not even a stone. So if it becomes a woman, I will lose my source of income also. Not only will I have another woman to take care of, I will lose the source of my income. So I cannot allow you to just come onto my boat. Until unless you allow me to wash your feet, and then only will I permit you to go to my boat. So basically he wanted to touch the feet of Rama. He wanted to wash the feet of Rama. So he came up with all this sort of strange excuse that's how I want. When Rama looked at love of this boatman, he just smiled within, and he said, okay, you do whatever you need to do so that your boat does not become a woman, and let us go across as soon as possible. So he brought the water. Even some of you might have seen when Guruji goes to some houses, people wash the feet of Guruji. So it's considered a custom when a holy person comes to your place, wash the feet. Okay, but this boatman wanted to do that. So he washes the feet of Rama, becomes very happy. Then he gave that water as prasad to all the people around there, his family members and others. And then Rama, Lakshmana, Sita, they sit in the boat, and he takes the boat across. While crossing the boat, Mother Sita, she prays to Ganga, because Ganga is also considered a river as well as divine. So it's like a goddess. And she prays to Ganga that, oh mother, please fulfill my desire that I want to come back at the end of our exile period. I want to come back with my husband, with my brother-in-law, Lakshmana, and I want to worship you. So fulfill that desire of mine. And Ganga speaks that there is a sound coming from the waters, that Sita, you are the goddess of goddesses. At your touch, at your look, people attain siddhis and all sort of things they ever desire. But because you wanted to give me the glory, you wanted to glorify me, you are praying to me like this. So in this scenario, following your wish, I must say that yes, I bless you, that all your desires will be fulfilled. Then when boatman takes Rama and Sita and Lakshmana across, Rama wanted to give something as a wage to the boatman, but there is nothing with him because he is coming as a mendicant. Then he looks at Sita. Sita understood, because she still is wearing the royal attire with all the ornaments, she takes her ring and then gives it to Rama to give it to boatman. And when Rama tries to give the ring to the boatman says, "Today I cannot accept this from you. What is it that I did not receive from you today? By touching your feet, not only me, but even my other generations are assured of the liberation. So there is nothing that I haven't received. But if you are so desirous of giving me something, then when you come back, at that time, whatever you offer me, I'll take." So when Lord Rama sees such selfless ways of boatmen, he gives him his bhakti, the love for the divine. And then moving forward, they reach Prayaga. Prayaga is the modern Allahabad. It is considered the king of all the holy places in one of the ways. This is the place where three rivers meet together: Ganga, Yamuna, and Saraswati. Saraswati is the invisible river, and Ganga and Yamuna, they are visible. And if you go to that place even today, you can see the water, like Yamuna water is a little darker and Ganga water is a little lighter, and both of them come together. It is the place where Kumbh Mela takes place every 12 years. So last time it was in 2013, now it will be 2025. It's a grandest ceremony, celebration on the earth. More than 100 million people gather there. This is a festival. If any of you ever get an opportunity, it's worth seeing, just to be part of that kind of celebration. Then Lord Rama comes to Prayaga, this place. It is called Prayaga, the Sanskrit name. And he takes the dip in the place where both the rivers meet. And he bows down to the rivers and he feels very happy. All of them do that. And then there is an ashram of a rishi called Bharadwaja. Even today there is this ashram in Allahabad, in Prayag. Of course, it is anybody's guess whether it is the same place or another place today. But that place known as Bharadwaja ashram is there. There could be some doubt whether it is the same exact ashram or not where Lord Rama went, but there is no doubt that Prayaga, the holy Sangam, the confluence of the rivers, that is still there, that you can still go and take a dip today. So he goes to that ashrama nearby. When Bharadwaja sees him, he feels so joyful as if he has attained the liberation. And he tells Rama that whatever meditations, whatever worships, whatever good deeds I have done, I have attained the result of all those seeing you. There could be no greater happiness than this, no greater gain than this. I have fulfilled all my desires looking at you. Now just give me this boon, that may I have this tremendous love for you all the time. So Lord Rama gives him that boon, but at the same time, he is also bowing to Rishi because he is a sage. So then he asks that where should we go next? They stayed there for a couple of days. And then he asks Sage Bharadwaja that in this area, where is the good place to go to? And what is the way? So Bharadwaja says, all the ways, they come to you only. All the paths lead to you only, Rama. And you are asking for the path. So jokingly like that, then he says, okay, my brahmacharis, of, they will show you the path. So he called his brahmacharis, and they are looking at Rama. They wanted to go there. So they all are saying, oh, we have seen the path. We know everything out here. There are like 50 odd people, and they all are saying that, oh, we know all this path. We have been through all these places. We can show you the path. Bharadwaja understood their desire, but he could not make everybody accompany Rama. So he chose any 4. And they were very fortunate people who accompanied Lord Rama to show him the path. Then in this manner, they go and they cross river Yamuna. When they are going, people are looking at them. People are feeling very happy. Some people know the story. They are abusing Kaikeyi, but at the same time, they are feeling amazingly happy just to see Rama, Sita, and Lakshmana. Tulsidas ji has given one simile here. आगे राम लखन बने पाछे, तापस वेश बिराजत काछे, उभय बीच सिय सोहत कैसे, ब्रह्म जीव बिच माया जैसे, देखत बन सर सैल सुहाए, वाल्मीकि आश्रम प्रभु आए. That Rama is walking in the front, then Sita is following him, and Lakshmana is following both of them. So Tulsidas ji, the poet, is saying that between the two, Sita is as if between the Brahma and Jiva, Maya is there. So Rama is Brahman, the God himself. Lakshmana is compared to like a Jiva, an individual soul. And Sita is compared to Maya. So like that, he has given many similes. And I have just chosen this one to share with you. So in this manner, they are moving forward, and they came to another place, the ashram of Sage Valmiki. Valmiki is the one who originally wrote Ramayana, and he is considered the first poet. So now Rama, and so that thing is known as history, because Valmiki was in the same period as Lord Rama. So he wrote something which he directly perceived. So now Lord Rama has reached the ashram of Valmiki. So we'll see in the next class how Valmiki prays to Lord Rama. So any questions or comments, please feel free to write in the chat window. So there is a question: did Lakshmana's mother knew that Rama was an incarnation of God? Yes, she always knew. That's why she never lost her cool, her intellect, her wisdom. And she knew that it was in the best interest of Lakshmana to serve Rama and Rama alone. So she always knew that fact. Her name is Sumitra, and she is not so prominent among the characters in Manas, but whenever she is portrayed, it is always that she wants her sons to follow the path of Rama, to serve Rama as much as they can. Any other question, comment? If there are no more, we'll close our class with the prayers. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kasyid dukkha bhag bhavet. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। Thank you everyone.